Welcome to the 2022 Winter Classic Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. Now, here are your hosts, Dan Olds and Addison Snell.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another 2022 Intersect 360 Research Winter Classic Invitational Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. I'm Addison Snell alongside Dan Olds. And Dan, we're going to start to meet the mentors. We got HPE.
We got HPE, who is both a mentor and a sponsor, which is double play. Fantastic participation by them. Let's go ahead and bring Justin in.
Justin Hotard is the general manager for HPC and AI at HPE. Justin, welcome to the program.
Hey, it's great to be with you guys. And Dan, I would just say I prefer a power play as opposed to double play, I think, for the Winter Classic, if that's all right.
Hockey guy.
Hockey.
Okay.
We're getting into it's like March Madness time. I was looking for some college basketball metaphors, but that's all right. It's hockey season too.
He's a 3-point shot, NBA style. So yeah,
that's all right.
Great to have him in here.
Justin, thank you so much for HPE's support of the Student Cluster Competition, this Winter Classic Invitational. As Dan just said, HPE is doing the double duty with whatever sports metaphor you like. You're in as a sponsor and you're in as a mentor. Let's start by talking about the mentorship, because the first challenge in front of the students this year was to take on LINPAC, HPL, and HPCG, the top 500 kinds of challenges. And this was their first challenge out of the chute, and HPE was helping them do that. What was that like for HPE?
Well, I'll tell you, I think our team had a ton of fun, with it. They really loved getting the students in and learning how to use the tools and understand optimization. I think it was a great time for everybody. And I also think, and obviously part of the benefit of the competition was, I'm guessing we probably identified some new rookies that we need to consider recruiting in, because it was there were some really impressive scores that came out of that. I know I heard that from my team. They were just super impressed at what we were able to see in terms of results from the students.
Let's take a half step back, and I'm just going to tell the audience what HPE did. They provided clusters for 50 odd students on 12 different teams, a bunch of different accounts. They had a couple of clusters there for running HPE and then for running HPCG. And then they put together close to 6 hours of training for the students on how to use the clusters, a lot of HPC concepts, tools, that sort of thing, and then application specific stuff. It was a big ask, and they came through with flying colors.
That's nice of you to say, Dan. I know, like I said, I know it was as much fun for our team as as hopefully it was for the students, and we got a lot out of it. I think I think it's great to be able to contribute to clusters and
fantastic
to teams. Just really exciting to see that. So I also appreciate you rebranding the HPL HPE. I like that. We're in the right spot.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that. Well, should we take a look at the big?
Take a look at the leaderboard. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm interested to see this. Where are we?
See how they did. Now we've got not only the HPL and the HPCG round under wraps, but as we had an extra week before they head to NASA Ames for the NASPAR benchmarks.
Right.
And so Dan orchestrated a pop quiz for the chance for the students to do a little bit of reading on the history and current events in HPE. Those have been added to the tally as well. And here's where we're at with Tennessee State University. They've really come on strong. They had the second highest HPL score, the highest HPCG score by quite a bit, and did very well on the pop quiz for a current 294.84 out of a possible 300 points. But then a lot of teams.
A little bit of the story, though, behind that HPCG, that prompted several conversations between me and your mentor squad.
There was an inquiry.
There was an inquiry, and that had to come to me as the judge and final arbiter. But during the first quarter of the Super Bowl that they said, we've got this team that just put in a monster HPCG, but they did it by reducing the problem size until the whole thing fit in cache. And I said, well, wait a minute, did they run on 4 nodes? Yeah, they ran on 4 nodes. Then they haven't circumvented any rules. They did what benchmarkers do.
This is really interesting. I wonder if there's a little bit of a home court advantage there, Dan. I mean, just you see Tennessee, and there's a stronghold there, right? So I wonder if there was a bit of an advantage there that they leveraged. But that's really impressive. That is
good thinking.
I'll tell you. To me, that also speaks to the genius of innovation, right? Because sometimes simplifying is actually where you get to the best answer. So that's really impressive.
There are some other good schools on there, and I'll talk about those in a second. Yeah. But you're right about that Tennessee stronghold, and they are looking forward 2 rounds ahead to getting to Oak Ridge National Labs, which is also on as a mentor. They're going to be taking on some benchmarks there. And, of course, that's the site of the Frontier supercomputer. It's being installed currently, and they're not going to be running on Frontier. They're going to be using some, old antiquated supercomputing nodes for that.
Called Summit.
Called Summit.
It's an offshoot.
We won't have the HPE Frontier supercomputer there yet, but it's another HPE tie-in for sure. And we're all looking forward to Frontier and what Tennessee State can do. But look at some of those teams just behind. Florida A&M partially got that into cache for the second highest HPCG score, and they're third on the board. Texas Tech had 2 teams in there, the Red Raiders. Just a sec, Dan, and I'll finish. Who had the highest HPCG score that didn't leverage the cache trick and was very high on LinPack and the pop quiz as well. So really excellent up there.
Little color on Florida A&M. They were the team that did the most advanced scripting, and they just let the clusters run with some scripts. And they did, I want to say, 4,000 runs at HPCG. Where the other teams, I mean, they were an order of magnitude ahead of the next highest job count team. But it was kind of brute force and not so much of an informed brute force, which is what Tennessee State did, that they sort of guided their brute force down the track of a smaller problem size.
Very interesting. We call that machine learning, don't we, Dan?
We do. Yeah, we can't call it brute force anymore, right? It's all machine learning.
That's machine learning.
But on basis of the quiz score, that's what propelled the Red Raiders up into second place. It's very close second place, and everybody's trying to reel in Tennessee State, but it moved them up a spot or 2.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about UTEP, because that was quite a performance on the pop quiz, and really, really strong on LinPack too, right up there.
It certainly was. UTEP is a second-year team. They were in last year, kind of middle of the packy, upper middle of the packy, and they've come on strong. They want this year. And when I sent them their team scores, they responded with, "This is just motivation for us to take a bigger bite out of the lead with the NASA stuff coming up."
Oh yeah, don't go to sleep on any of these teams. Even you get down to Morehouse and Spelman. They started late on LinPack and HPCG and didn't get their scores in, but they're engaged. They're getting some help now. So all of these teams up and down. We've done the team interviews. People can check out those videos as well. Channel Islands. They've got 2 teams competing against each other. They want to beat each other. Fayetteville State, Fullerton. They're all in there. They're excited about this, and the time they spent with HPE was really the wake up to, holy cow, look at this thing that we get to do.
No, that's great. And I'd love to see a late charge from Morehouse and Spelman, and I'm betting that they could probably pull it off. I mean, those quiz numbers are indicative. They've got a strong base they're coming out of. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is going to be really exciting.
There's still 400 points to be had.
That's right.
400 points at stake.
The three columns here, plus there's an interview at the end, then that's another 100.
And we decided to equally weight everything because, hey, who's to say what's more important? It's all good. But I dearly love the Channel Island schools and, having multiple teams from schools because I get to stir the pot and hopefully get them into a bitter rivalry.
Well, what I love about the Channel Islands, Dan, is don't panic. I think that's a principle that's going to make them successful, both in this competition, but really on in their careers.
Yes. And I'd like to see the Matadors bounce back up and give a challenge to the Red Raiders, both from Texas Tech.
Those schools that have two teams in there are extra motivated to chase each other.
Yeah,
that's great. Now, this is really exciting to see, and it looks like it's still anybody's race right now. So that's
too early to call.
Well, and more importantly, Justin, as you were saying, we're introducing a new generation to high performance computing. And on every team, there are students who are showing interest and aptitude. This is a new generation of talent that is going to start replacing us in the industry later on. And I love to see it.
Yeah, I'll tell you from my standpoint, Addison, that actually is the best part of this. And, the thing is when I've been out, obviously, you guys know I've been running the business for about a year. I'm an HPC and AI newbie, and still learning a lot. But one of the things that's interesting when I talk to customers is, we talk about a lot of things these days. We talk about the parts supply chain, but we talk just as much about the talent supply chain. And it's at every level, right? It's a system administrator to
data scientists,
developers, to data scientists, right? It's at every level of the industry that we have a talent opportunity, and we have it. So I'll put the shameless plug in that we're hiring, and we see this as a training opportunity and maybe a bit of a recruiting opportunity too, because we've got a lot of summer internship roles open. Excellent. So we're very eager to hire some of the team members here that are interested and excited about learning more and in a summer internship. And look, I think the industry needs that, right?
We do.
Every lab I talk to, a lot of our commercial customers, I hear the same feedback. So we really need this, and I can't say enough about what you're both doing and in spearheading this, because I think it's the right direction. And as you guys know, and as I live every day, this isn't a market that's shrinking or evaporating. It's growing. I mean, the demand in, we were joking about AI earlier. The demand in AI is actually getting more demand in HPC, and both are gonna drive more interest in new ways of doing AI, whether it's deep learning, inference, but also in quantum, right? And quantum simulation is going to be something that even before we see large scale quantum supercomputers, we're going to see a lot of quantum simulation. And so I think getting more students educated on this opportunity, and yes, and I don't want to disparage going into areas like social media or gaming; those are cool too. But
leave that to me.
This is changing the world and creating making the world a better place, and that's why from our perspective at HPE, we're so invested in this space, and it fits our mission and purpose. And that's why, what you guys are doing is really important.
That's right. When social media and gaming grow up and get a job that makes a difference in the world, that becomes HPC.
Or some sort of a phone app to tell you where other people are that are using this app, that sort of thing. It's just, it's when I tell the students when I'm talking to them and recruiting them is that, look, these are the biggest problems that you'll run on the biggest systems. Yep. And if you want to be part of that game, as opposed to, again, writing another app, sign up.
We've been speaking with Justin Hotard, General Manager of HPC and AI at HPE. Justin, thank you for HPE's support. You want to get in there?
Before you sign off, I got one other question for you. You guys, tell me, I heard, because I don't want to put a plug in here for anybody's podcast, but I heard on a podcast that Dan, you're also doing a little scholarship competition as well. Can you tell me a little about that?
Intersect 360 is sponsoring a $1,000 scholarship for one member of each of the 12 teams. And that's the Brueckner Award, named after Rich Brueckner, who passed away in 2019, actually. No, 2020, sorry. But he was a big fan of these competitions. And so I started that tradition in the first competition. We're carrying it on in the second.
Great. Well, let me tell you a couple of things from my end. One, I'm a huge believer in the power of education as the one thing that creates equal opportunity in the world, and I benefited from it. My family's benefited from it, and I think as we talked about helping educate, train, and enable more careers in this space is really critical to our competitiveness as a country. Our world being a better place. So let me offer a couple things. One is HPE will contribute $1,000 for each student as well, and I'll add $500 myself personally.
Holy crap!
To each one. One is HPE will contribute $1,000 for each student as well, and I'll add $500 myself personally.
Holy crap!
To each one.
Dan, thank you very much for your support of this competition. We're very happy with how the students are doing it. Just thrilled. It's the contributions from HPE as a mentor and a sponsor that are really able to drive that. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough. This is great, and what a surprise. I had no idea this was coming, but students will be glad to hear that. It'll be good for the industry. This is fantastic.
Great.
And
thank you. Good.
And thank everybody out there for watching this episode of the 2022 Winter Classic Invitational Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. Boy, that's not as easy to say as you make it seem.
You've been making fun of me every time, Dan.
I know, but you whipped that out. Anyway, I got that off the ground. I made that, put that into the end zone. So keep watching. We have more features coming up. We have the NASA competition this coming week. We'll be updating the scores, and we're going to be meeting the teams. So thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. See you guys soon, and good luck to the teams.